evening, everyone. It's Tom Sydney Bushnell, aka Numbers, here from Psych.Club and from the Tom Numbers Show. Both of my shows, both on YouTube. So subscribe to both of them. And also, bit of housekeeping, subscribe to Mark Attwood on Adventures in a Cosmic Suit on YouTube and sign up to his email list. And all the other places that we're on, Telegram, Rumble, Twitter, all of it. Mark, how are you, mate?
I'm very well, Sir Thomas of Numbers. How are you?
I'm very good, buddy. 141. 141 Mark Attwood, 141 Tom Bushnell. Add them together, 282. Transition to greatness, 282, 88 miles per hour.
Oh, 88 came up yesterday, and I was like, got to remember to tell Tom. Oh, and it's gone. But it will come back to me, I'm sure, before this show's over.
It will come back. Look at, see my purple lightsaber here. Purple, yeah. I feel like Mace Windu. And purple is ATTWOOD Trump.
No, that's mad. Wait there. That is mad.
You got a lightsaber.
You won't believe this. I was updating my car insurance. No, road tax, right? I'm still paying road tax. And I went to this cupboard and where I put my files, and I found this morning, and I was like, what is that doing there?
Is that Mace Windu?
Yeah. The Matrix. I mean, how random is that?
Oh.
I've got an unsealed Mace Windu Star Wars toy in a cupboard next to my car insurance.
It is. Oh, and I've been watching. I don't watch much TV, but in the evenings I've been watching Wheeler Dealers with Mike Brewer. And there's another show with classic car dealers, and there's one of the guys in there. He wears glasses. He's very creative and artistic, and a linguist, ventriloquist, and wears a cap. Anyway, it reminds me of you in many ways, and it's making me think of the show that you, me, and 107 have got to do.
Oh, yeah,
Top Gear, the Truth of Top Gear show. You know.
I keep yes. Well, yeah, we talked about that, didn't we? Because I mean, if all this wasn't going on, I would do a YouTube channel called Mark's Marvelous Machines, and it would be all about cars, helicopters, crazy machines, and I'm obsessed with those things. But anyway, I'm just going to put this Archangel Michael protection spray, which is amazing. A really good friend of mine makes this in Ireland, and it's just tingly. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Tingly, yeah.
Yeah. I'm surrounded by all these toys. I've been using DMSO in my eyes recently. This stuff. And
okay.
It's been amazing. My eyesight's actually improving, like on a daily basis, because of this.
Really?
Yeah. And I've also been practicing with these
tuning forks.
Divine.
You're
all of my decisions now, I go to the rods. Should I do this? Yes or no? And then it tells. Should I continue doing this show with Tom Numbers today? Look at that, big yes, big yes.
That's good. We got a yes.
a bit embarrassing.
All right, I'll get my coat. All right, I'll get my coat. You know what? Talking to the Matrix. So I had another download. I was walking along the beach just before we got to the show today, and I'd done these numbers ages ago, but I was thinking about 9/11. We won't go into the details of it. There's a whole other, there's lots of things with that. Anyway, so 9/11 happened on the 254th day of the year. So September 11th, in a normal year, not a leap year, it's the 254th day of the year. That comes to 1,000 years of peace. Okay, so just hear me out. And comes to some other things. But anyway, we'll go with that one. But then this is I had this a year and a half ago, maybe longer. I haven't thought about it recently, but it popped into my head. And Tower 1 comes to 115, comes to Twitter, comes to intelligence. Tower 2, because Tower is 81, so 1 plus Tower 80, 81. 1 is study for DJT Grace, comes to 115. Tower 2 is 58, which is Nasara, which is Star, which is Ivanka. XRP, Robin from Batman and Robin, because you add those together, it's 109, which is 17. Diana Spencer, etc. Psych.Club, my channel. But Tower 2 is 139, which is money exchange. It's the name Christopher. It's also Rachel numbers. So Rachel writes so blunt, sometimes I call her Rachel numbers because she does the numbers. I'm 140, Tom numbers. Anyway, if you add Tower 1 plus Tower 2, guess what the total value is? It's 254. And September 11th is the 254th day of the year.
Yeah.
And so we are in the matrix, Mark. And another confirmation of that is when I was walking along this evening, I walked past the beach hut, number 139, and 139 is Tower 2. And so anyway, we get all these things. And I didn't know about your Mace Windu figure. That's awesome.
Oh, well,
we're in a matrix, buddy. Everyone, we're in a matrix.
That's just happening every day, stuff like this.
Mm-hmm.
So much so that it's becoming I'm passé about it.
Yeah. But it's wonderful, isn't it? It's like, oh, okay, cool. So then the question is, how do we control this matrix, the dream? 245 is Thomas Sidney Bushnell. 245 is currency revaluation. 245 is the pure love of Christ. And 245 is the question, how do I control the dream? So I'm always asking myself that question. I'm sure you do this. I'm always thinking about all this stuff all day, every day.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because I was watching Christian 21 talking on the Linda Parrish show recently. And he's an interesting chap. Now, Janine did some cards on him, said some of these things have been placed. I don't know. I trusted Janine.
Is this the Australian guy?
No, he's English. And he's,
okay.
I like him. And but
Christian 21, yeah.
Christian 21, and he said something very interesting for me. And he said once you can control your dreams, that's when you become, at where you need to be. And then I had flashbacks to dreams because you don't ever really. I mean, life is a dream. Row your boat gently down the stream, merrily, 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 merrily. Life is but a dream.
Yep.
And I remember lots and lots of my dreams. And when he said this, it triggered loads of dreams where I was in control. I mean, this is like lucid dreaming, right? I guess it's the same thing. And I remember I went to a Hay House conference a few years ago, and there was a guy there who'd written a book on lucid dreaming who was really, really interesting. It's something that I think we all need to be working on, and I think it's a lot to do is about intention before you go to sleep. If you say, right, if I have a dream tonight, I'm going to control it, right? And I'm not an expert on lucid dreaming, guys. I'm just saying this is what I would do, and see where that takes you, because I think that move, let me tell you a story about manifesting first, right? This is popping into my head. So I think the idea of manifesting all came up maybe 20 odd years ago properly, in terms of like it going into mass consciousness with, I was going to say those people, the channelers, and the name's gone out of my head now, but manifesting. So this is a true thing, and I've been a master manifester my whole life without really understanding what it was. And are you okay? You got off screen?
No, I'm here. I'm still listening. I'm just.
Well, I'll tell you this funny story about manifesting. I was, my wife at the time had bought this really cheap sofa for the kids' playroom, and we had a little tete-a-tete about it because I have a thing about buy cheap, pay twice. Anyway, it got delivered, and then a few months later, she was away for the weekend, and I was tidying up the playroom, and a wire stuck out from this sofa. And it scratched me, and I went, fucking hell. And I looked at the sofa and I said, right, you are done. Me and you are done. I'm replaced. You're replaced. Okay. So I had a very strong emotional belief that this sofa was going to be replaced very soon. And then later that evening, I went out into the garden, and I lived at this old schoolhouse farm place, and I had a big paddock out the back. And I stood there with a glass of wine as the sun was coming down, and I felt a compulsion to walk out into the paddock. And as I walked out about halfway into the field, I noticed a piece of paper over in the ground. And I thought, my first thought was, oh, kids have been making a mess. I'll go and tidy it up. So I went and picked up this piece of paper, and it was laminated, attached to a burst helium balloon, and on it, it had the DFS logo, and it said, "Congratulations, you've won a sofa." Right?
Yeah.
And I was like, what the WTF? And the funny thing is, it was let off from Llandudno in April. I'm in June. I know it wasn't there that day because I'd already been out in the field and I'd been in that area. And it was released as part of DFS's 50th anniversary or something in the first store in Llandudno with a load of balloons, and it had these winning blah, blah, blahs. I mean, the odds of that happening were just billions to one.
Yeah.
But then the next day, I go around to a friend's for a barbecue, and she's a gregarious, beautiful blonde woman. She said, "Mark, darling," gave me a hug. First thing she said was, "Would you like a new sofa?" I went, I said, "I beg your pardon?" She said, "Would you like a new sofa? I've just had this room decorated. I've got a £5,000 sofa in there. It doesn't fit the room, and I'd rather it went to a family that would make good use of it." And I went, so I manifested 2 sofas in 24 hours. And my life's been like that all the way through. And it's including manifesting things that you don't want. And I think where we're at the moment, if you look through the interviews I've done over the last couple of 2.5 years, you know, people like Garly Lucy talking about us moving into the age of Aquarius, and which we're in the process of, and instant manifesting. You know, me and Lewis on the American tour, we're talking a lot about manifesting. I've done classes on manifesting. I was teaching classes on manifesting 6 or 7 years ago in venues in London to underprivileged kids. You know, so it's just become you know, we do have the power. We are the master creators. And I think, you know, this spiritual quarantine period, the last 2.5, 3 years that we're in, is all about us remembering who we are, connecting back to source, God, whatever you want to call it, and then practicing these skills, because they are skills that we've all got, and they're abilities we've all got. And, you know, in the middle of that, there's all the DNA upgrades that are happening, and that is definitely happening, even if it's just anecdotally.
Yeah.
You know, all the people I've spoken to live on tour put their hands in the air when I said stuff like, you know, "Are your psychic abilities getting stronger? Do you notice this?" And all, yeah. You know, and I know Ishmael Perez talks about all that being upgraded and becoming superheroes, you know, those kind of abilities. And I think that transition from going from 3% to 100% is, you've got to take it slowly. And that's why this process has taken so long. And in the meantime, you've got all this craziness going out in the 3D world, designed to distract you from your purpose and finding out these things. And that's just, it is a beautiful process. And everything you said then about 9/11, the Matrix, is all very interesting. But even with 9/11, as soon as you said it, you know, one of my friends from school was in the towers that day. And me and his brother, well, I followed his brother over his shoulder for like 15 years when he was trying to get to the truth of what happened, including him burning the 9/11 commission outside the embassy in London, including him going on Alex Jones, and including him trying to get interviews with MI6, police, politicians, and getting nowhere, you know. So, you know, there's still these emotional responses we have to these events and these things that throw us off our path, because, you know, the image I've had throughout this whole period has been Jesus on a boat. And this is at the end of a film called I Pet Goat 2, which is, have you ever seen that, Tom?
I Pet Go To. No,
I Pet Goat 2.
No, I haven't seen that.
You got to go and watch it. It's packed with, it's like a short animated film. I think when did it come out? It might have come out about 10 years ago. I'm not sure. It's absolutely packed with symbolism. I think it starts with George Bush in the classroom when the towers go down. So it's all connected to 9/11. Weirdly, I thought I was just rambling, but it's all connected.
Yeah.
And there's a scene in it where Jesus is on a boat and his third eye is lit up, and he's just kind of dancing to himself while all this fire and brimstone and volcanoes and crazy shit, meteors is going on all around him, and he's just floating through the middle of it, zen like. Which leads me.
What's that?
It leads, you know, it's just popped into my head. I saw the Passion of the Christ 2 trending on Twitter yesterday.
Yeah.
Is that actually happening? And then it hit me.
Well,
Is Mel Gibson going to make a film about Christ coming back now in this time? Because how can you make a sequel to that film when Christ died, resurrected? That's the end of the story, right?
Yeah.
So what is I might just be waffling here because I don't.
Well, no, it's interesting. So I saw a trailer, which was a fan-made trailer, maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago. And I sent it to Jim Caviezel, and he said that's just a fake one. I haven't seen what's trending on Twitter. I know that they want to do Passion of the Christ, the next one. I think it'll be the Resurrection of the Christ. I can't remember exactly the title, but it's something to do with that. I haven't spoken to Jim about the film recently, but I'll have a look now that you've mentioned it, and maybe there is something. So I'll check with him. The interesting thing about that is 115 I mentioned earlier is Twitter intelligence, and Tower 115 comes to Jim Caviezel. So that's very interesting. And as you
what about Tower 3?
Tower 3 would be
because most people still think there's only 2 towers that went down that day.
So Tower, so building 7 is 143, which is November 5th. And we're always told to remember November, the 5th of November. There's loads of numbers on that. So on building 7, 143, that's ground zero. It's Melania Trump, Paul Bushnell, my cousin. So he was integral with me getting the numbers. I met Ivanka Trump. Paul just died 10 days before. I got these downloads of numbers, but I didn't understand the alphabetical numerics of it until 2020. But 143 is I mean, if you do 5th of November, or if you do November the 5th, that's 176 Back to the Future. So building 7 is integral in all of it. I also as well think, so Christopher, I've mentioned this before, but you brought it up about the 3rd tower. So New York is 111. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Threes. Now, there's two sides to all of that, but I tend to focus on the good stuff because, let's face it, that's what we need more of. So yesterday, actually, a couple of days ago, so the show I did with Matt Letizia and Janine, this came up because I asked a question about Andrew Tate. And Tate,
I saw that, and I had a bit of text tennis with Matt Letizia last night.
Did you?
Yeah, he's going to come on my show next week. I'm really pleased about that.
Brilliant. He's a good guy. I'm seeing him Tuesday. We're going for lunch. Yeah.
So he's an amazing guy.
Yeah, he is. Well, I was trying to get you on with him last time. We weren't with a few weeks ago. No. But now that's brilliant. So Matt, so I asked a question about Andrew Tate. Yeah. Andrew Tate comes to 111, which comes to New York. 111 comes to perfection. 111 comes to illusion. 111 comes to White Dove. 111, and 1 has put me onto that. 1 is 46. Dove is 46. Best is 46. The best is yet to come. The Dove is yet to come. 228. Is that a time and date in the future? We don't know, but we'll see. Anyway, 3 towers. So I've been saying this for a while, and I can't prove it, but it's just the feelings I get on it. And Christopher Nolan's film Tenet. Tenet is a film by Christopher Nolan. Christopher Nolan comes to 195 actually, which is the other physics power number that 1 talks about, 19.47 or 19.5. 195 comes to Move the Mountain, comes to Quantum Trump, comes to Trump military, comes to lots of things. But anyway, Christopher Nolan's film Tenet does a visual of a building being destroyed and recreated all in the same shot.
Yeah.
And I was like, what's that? And I was like, that's, I feel the best is yet to come. I think there'll be lots of best yet to come, but I feel somehow that we'll get a restoration on 9/11. If that's the case, there'll be 3 towers, because they'll probably keep the World Trade Center 1, which is there now, and there'll be 3. You've also got building 7, but it's a lot smaller. But I think that 111 is a New York skyline of 3 towers. I think is inevitable, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, the Matrix is incredible. I think I do believe that's what it is. And I didn't know about this guy Christopher 21. Is that his name? Christopher 21.
Christian.
Sorry, Christian 21. I don't know. I have to look into his stuff, but I've not heard of that before. But yeah, how do I control the dream? 245. I think there's a lot of truth in that. You know,
what happens at the end of the Matrix? Neo controls everything. He can do anything. You know, is being shown to us right there in the Matrix. You know.
Yeah, it is. And Neo is 34. DJT is Grace 34. So I think it's when we understand. I was thinking about this just coming down with the chines at the beach, actually going up one of them, but 34 is Neo, DJT is Neo, Grace is 34, and 1 is 34. So it's like, so if DJT is the example, which he is, he's Neo in the Matrix, but also all the rest of us are Neo in the Matrix because it's 1. 1 is 34, Grace is 34, DJT is 34. So we're all in the Matrix. We're all playing our own version of the Matrix. So we're all Neo as well as DJT is Neo. And that's all because of Grace.
And Matrix starts with MA. MA in Lemurian code. Maha Waka Ha Ti. Ma is the first light, the light of creation. Ma. And then when I learned that, then I realized my name was Mark. My initials are MA. I lived in Manchester. My first house was in Marketing Street. I worked in marketing. I moved to Marrakesh. The real name of Morocco is Maghreb or Maroc in French. And then before I did the first gig at the monastery in Manchester, I lived in Manchester. I was looking at this picture earlier. There was the woman that works there, Jill. She sent me a photo of a beam of light coming through the window, and there was very clearly an M in the light beam. And Matrix. I've only just realised that. Go on.
Talking of MA, take it to the next letter. MAT's Matt.
Yeah,
they got Laetitia in it as well. See?
Well, Matt, MA. There it is again, Matthew.
MA, yeah, Matt, and MAT.
And I'm not saying this to say, check me. I'm saying that I think the purpose of sharing that with the audience is that part of the process of finding out who you are is looking for these synchronicities and these codes and these clues.
Yeah.
I got told by somebody I respect enormously yesterday that it's now time. She told me it is now time, Mark, for you to find out what your true cosmic name is. And I said, well, how do I find that out? And she said, well, it will just kind of appear. It might be a neon sign. It might be a sound. It could be any one of those things. And all you've got to do is have the intention that you will have an awareness for it, and you will find it. Okay. And because I've been through all the spiritual development that I've been through in the last 10 years, that makes sense to me. Some people watching this might think that's just nonsense, but it makes sense to me. Mm-hmm. And she said, when you do find your cosmic name, it's for you only. You don't share it with anybody. And then what happens is that when you know it and you use it in certain situations, you will instantly be surrounded by the angels to do what it is to help you do what it is you need to do. So that brings out the question, well, what is it you need to do? Well, part of the journey for me has been realizing that, and a lot of people on my channel have corroborated this in terms of their own life, is that we're all in the places that we're supposed to be. So all those bizarre moves that some of us have made. I mean, I ended up in Ireland and I never really wanted to be here in my waking mind, but I had no choice and I got here. And then it dawned on me in 2020, that's why I'm here. Because we're all points of light, and we form this grid of light. And I'm talking about the majority of the viewers as well, except the bots and the shills and all that. But the majority of people that have been drawn to people like us we're all part of the same team because we're all one consciousness. It's just that we're the gobby ones who go online, and and that's what happens when we're in these particular positions. We are infusing places that got taken over by negative energy with the light, and that's this process, and we're part of that process within this matrix. So it's fascinating. And sorry, you're going to say something on that? Because I want. Can I mention Avatar for us to talk about? Because I don't think we've talked about Avatar on.
Yeah. I was just going to say, when you said about your name, maybe a new name or cosmic name, but I was just joking. I was going to say before you said it. So you said I was going to say, Neo or Kal-El, like in the Matrix or Superman. But then you said you talked about neon light. So neon is like, I was going to say, did you say neo light? But you said neon light. And then you said new, like new is NE. NE is the beginning of new or neon or neo, you know, anyway.
Well, you know, you've got a neon light behind you, haven't you? Is that a neon light, that purple one?
My Mace Windu lightsaber, Mark, come on.
Yeah. Well, no, but the other thing is, the other coincidence, I mean, this might seem trivial, but I've got the Zoom meeting up here. I'm on a website, the sovereignproject.live, which is highly recommended if you want to fight back against the system with letters, templates, and things like this about claiming your sovereignty. But right, hang on, right behind the screen, Tom, there's a big block and it's purple and it matches your purple perfectly. It's just fucking nuts.
There you go. Well, that's it. So we got 88 Trump purple, and then you've got a purple, so you've got 88 Trump, but you add them together, 288 come to 176, Back to the Future, November the 5th. But you were talking about sovereign, so you'll love this, but sovereign is Trump card, 114, but sovereign is also frequency, 114. It's also history, 114, and it's also dove language. So I've been looking at this a lot. Right. If we want to change our history, we change our frequency.
Did you say dove language?
Yes.
What the hell is that?
Well, let's figure it out. So I believe that so Juan dropped this on me because he knew the way I think and, you know, where I'd go with it. So President Trump has said many, many times, the best is yet to come. The word best, and you're not far from George Best's airport in Northern Ireland. And I know Callum Best, actually. I haven't seen him for a while, but I know his son, I know George's son, Callum. George is 57 Tesla.
No, this is getting madder. You know the house I just told you the story about?
Yeah.
The sofa in the garden, literally around the corner.
Once we finish this bit, I've got to tell you about the sofa and dream. Yeah, go on.
Literally around the corner from George Best's old house when he lived in Manchester.
Really?
Yeah. And that was that area is famous because George Best lived there.
There you go. Well, George is 57, which is England. There you were in Manchester. But George is also Tesla. And Tesla famously had, you know, there's pictures of him with the dove, but also DJT with the dove.
Hang on, Tom. No, those pictures with Tesla were with a pigeon.
Well, they're not a dove.
When he was living in the New York hotel, they kept running stories about how he talked to this pigeon for years and fed this pigeon. I'm pretty sure it was a pigeon. I'm just saying.
Maybe there is a dove.
Maybe there is a picture of him with a dove, but I'm pretty sure Tesla was famously with a pigeon. I'll go on Google.
Okay. Check it. But DJT, there's a picture with him with a dove.
Yeah, I remember that. And that's from the 80s, wasn't it?
Yeah. And I don't know if there's one with John or not. Diana's was dove like. Anyway, so the dove, a lot of people talk about the dove being the New Jerusalem.
No, there are pictures of him with a dove.
Tesla.
Yeah. But
yeah, I thought so, yeah.
But the pigeon is still a famous story, so we're both right.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, there is.
So anyway, it's interesting about George Best. So I hadn't thought about that. So yeah, George is 57 Tesla and Best is 46 dove. But anyway, so what was I saying? So yeah, so the best is yet to come. Dove language, here you go, yeah. Right, so there's a scripture that talks about being wise as serpents, but gentle as doves. And there's, you know, people go into that for forever. But dove is a symbol. You had the dove descending with John the Baptist and with Christ. You were talking about Jesus. Jesus is 74, which is gematria 74. English, the language you and I are speaking in right now, is 74. Tarot is 74. Messiah for the Jews is 74. Muhammad, 74. London, 74. Lots of 74. DeLorean time machine, 74. I think even if you say Jewish, I think that's 74. I need to check that one. But anyway, so a lot of people say that the dove is the New Jerusalem. That's another name for it. And there's a lot of numbers on it, which I could go through. But dove language. So Blade Runner, and I've met Ridley Scott.
Of course you have.
Of course I have, yeah. And in Blade Runner 2,
yeah,
there's a bit with Elvis. And we just had the thing with Lisa Marie Presley. Anyway, that's just a thought. But Blade Runner comes to 114, which comes to frequency, which comes to dove language. And what's the very famous scene at the end of Blade Runner before he gets the unicorn? There's a dove scene. So where he's there with Rutger Hauer and he saves him, and you've got the symbology of the crucifixion with the nail going through, all of that. But anyway, he decides to save Harrison Ford. What's his name? Rick Deckard. He saves him. Doesn't need to, but he does. But then the dove flies across. So there's the sign of the dove there. But dove language is 114. Frequency is 114. Blade Runner is 114. Trump card is 114. Sovereign is 114. So I've been thinking about this week. That dove language is 68, which is Mar-a-Lago. It's Baron. It's Wayne, like Bruce Wayne. But dove is 46, which is best. It's Bobby, as in Bobby Kennedy. JFK died in 63 when he was age 46. President Trump is born in 1946. Wayne, for like Bruce Wayne. Sorry, what am I saying? Wayne is 68. But there's a lot of numbers with it, with 46. But anyway, I was thinking about this as like, so what is the dove? It came to me that possibly there's a language of peace that the higher beings represent and use. And I think that could be synonymous with a dove. And I was looking at dove language, 46 dove. Juan comes to 46. He's the one that put me onto it just by saying the White Dove Society. White Dove is 111. Society is 96, which is spaceship. Anyway, well, dove language, I believe, is a frequency. I believe it's a language. I believe it's a key part of the Matrix. Are there any doves in the Matrix? I need to rewatch it.
I need to do that. But you've triggered a memory, right? So when I was first really learning about animal symbolism, because I kept noticing different animals popping up, right? I'd been living in Marrakesh for about a year, and this white dove perched outside my bedroom window for 2 weeks every day.
Yeah.
I have no idea where it came from. I don't think there were even doves indigenous. That's the only time I ever saw a dove there in 4 years. And I had to look into that. And then if you look at the spiritual significance of doves, white doves embody the meaning of purity, peace, love, and connection with the divine.
Yes.
And represent innocence. And in different cultures over the years, they have, in Mesopotamia, they're symbols of fertility. In ancient Greece, and I'm reading from a website, in ancient Greece and Rome, they're associated with Aphrodite and Venus, goddess of love in ancient Greece and Rome. In Buddhism, the Buddhists believe that the dove embodies compassion and kindness. In Christianity, doves are seen as messages from God and a sign of the Holy Spirit. The Incas saw them as a representation of their dead ancestors. And in China, doves are symbols of enduring love, faithfulness, and eternal bonds, romantically and platonically speaking. Very powerful. And wasn't it a dove have something to do with Noah's Ark? Wasn't it?
Yeah, I was just, as soon as you that came into it, there was. And so I think it was on the 14th. Was it the 14th day after the waters receded? There was a few times the doves. There's ravens, but then there was a dove. 14, if you spell it out, is 104, which is Jerusalem. So that's the connection with New Jerusalem. 146, Ivanka Trump is New Jerusalem. President John Fitzgerald Kennedy is 343, which is the mothership, the New Jerusalem. They call the mothership, they call it the New Jerusalem.
Talking of motherships, I shared a TikTok video on my Telegram channel today that was sent to me by my friend Abby, that a woman on TikTok had taken a photograph of a black cloud in the sky. And you guys watching this, go to my Telegram channel, you find it. And she took the picture, put it on her computer, said in August, I think it was last year, it's taken her this long to put it up because she was afraid of showing it. At the end, she says, if anything happens to me, let me live on. She zooms in on it and she changed the settings in the photo, changed the light settings. And within the black cloud, you can clearly see something that looks like a massive ship or a city.
Yes, that's it. It's the city of the New Jerusalem. That's what it is.
It's incredible.
It is. and it's been prophesied in many, in scriptures and other things, other esoteric ways of believing. So I think there is. So if you think of this, this thing of the matrix, the code within the matrix, dove language is code, and talking about language 68, Mar-a-Lago 68, Wayne 68. So Bruce Wayne, Batman. Look at the Dark Knight Rises, or Dark Knight Rises, I believe. So when he shows the bat, Christopher Nolan shows the bat, but it actually looks like a dove. It looks like a dove, that's a dove. When Robin marks it at the end, puts it up, that's a dove. That's a sign of the dove. It's not a bat. I mean, you can have, it's so clever the way they've done it, but it's a bat, but it's a dove. It's a white dove. And so they've put that all the way through. The other thing about it as well, so the word simulation is 133. And Dove's language is 133. So if you do trump cards with an S, it's 133. Dove's language, plural, is 133, simulation. And trump card is 114. Sovereign is 114. Frequency is 114. History is 114. So if you want to change your frequency, if you want to change your history, you change your frequency. And that's what atonement is. I did the show with Juan and Adam the other day, and I asked him about how do you perform miracles. He said, well, when you're in correct alignment with God, then you just speak and it happens. And it was like, so that he said it's because of the blood of Christ. Christ is 77, which is power, which is hertz, which is quasar. JFK, when he was assassinated, the building, the book depository, you can see pictures of it. It had the word Hertz above it. Now, whether that was Hertz car or another Hertz, advertisement, but it had Hertz. Hertz is 77, which is Christ, which is integral to frequency. And so the word atonement is 107, which is quantum, which is trumps, which is Aquarius, which is eternal life, which is currency, which is military, which is 20. We just went through 2020, but we're going to go all the way, I believe, up to 2028 and beyond. President Trump always says about the best is yet to come. The best is yet to come comes to 228. 107 always says drop the zeros. So if you've got 2028, you drop the zero, that comes to 228. The best is yet to come is 228. The dove is yet to come is 228. Are we being told that the new Jerusalem, the mothership, the dove descends, reconnects with the earth then? I don't know. But the numbers seem to point to it.
Yeah, that is. I know a good poem called "The Best Is Yet to Come."
I know not a lot of people know that, but I know about it.
Not a lot of people know that, Tom. Sorry, that wasn't very good, Michael Caine. My voice is not quite there. As you were saying that, I was thinking about that. I think it was like a Time magazine fake cover that was done in 2019, I think it was, which showed Trump being president for like the next 200 years, like it was in an elongated era. And I'm sure it had something 2028.
Yeah. Well, there's also, so the Simpsons or Family, no, I think it was the Simpsons did the prediction for President Trump coming down the escalators before he did. And they've got this XRP whenever and there's other ones that they've done, but they've also got the prediction. I haven't seen it on the show, but there's a lot going around unless someone's created it, but it looks like a Simpsons clip. It says Ivanka for president in 2028. And I get a lot of numbers on that. So governors, so get this, Mark. Okay, so let's just play with the hypothesis that perhaps the best is yet to come is 2028.
Oh, sorry, man. I've just, as you were talking, I was like looking for Trump's Time magazine cover.
Yeah.
I've just found a close-up. No, a close-up of Trump's head on the cover with a massive M.
M.
His head's under the M.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's the true MP, isn't he?
Yeah.
Trump is true MP, I did this. I was going to share this with Matt when I was him, but this is a little side one. But he said, "Oh, what are the numbers on Richie Sunak?" And I put your joke in about him being Roland Rat. But Richie Sunak comes to 129 Judgment Day, but if you do Richie Sunak MP, comes to 158. 158 comes to Boris Johnson. So I was going to share that with Matt. I'll do that when we have lunch. But if we play with the hypothesis that 2028 is the best is yet to come, the dove is yet to come. They've said in The Simpsons that Ivanka's president in 2028. Now, do you remember when Steve Bannon did this kind of homemade video? It wasn't even Kieran doing it. It was, someone, it was all over the place. And he's on a jetty with a guy from the new Chinese Republic.
It was on a boat with the Chinese guy, and he had the Statue of Liberty behind him.
Yeah, it was a boat or jet, something bobbing around in the water, and it's basically filmed from Governor's Island.
Yeah.
So Governor's Island comes to 192, which comes to Ivanka Marie Trump, and then right behind them is Statue of Liberty. Statue of Liberty is 198, which is President Trump. And they talk about the millennium. They talk about, the millennial reign and how the good Chinese Republic, they want peace for 1,000 years. So they say that in this bit with Steve Bannon. And I saw that ages ago. I was like, they're prophesying the millennium. And it didn't get many views, but it was out there. And it's like, so are they saying that all starts in 2028 when you've got Ivanka, 192, Governor's Island, Ivanka Marie Trump, and they're facing the Statue of Liberty, which is President Trump, which is 198. Are they talking about Ivanka being President Trump?
That's so strange.
President Trump,
Well, that is so strange, because if you look at my poem F YouTube, right, yeah. I ad-libbed a beginning to that poem as a bit of comedy.
F. Yeah.
Huh?
No, I'm blurring it for the. Yeah, carry on. Yeah.
I said F. I did,
I know.
Obviously, it's not on YouTube, but I ad-libbed this comedy bit before, like an introduction. A poet recollects, and it was like, it was like me talking back on the time of the great pandemic in 21, 22, 23, 25, 26.
This is when you've got your hat on.
No, but this is really interesting because, we've got the hat on, and I go 22, 27, 28. So I actually went to 28 in that video, totally ad-libbed. And then I said a line, I was talking to President Trump only the other day, Ivanka. And there
you go.
I just thought it was funny.
Well, you've just coded it much, so you've done it. That's the case. I think that's the thing. So you were saying and speaking freely, and then when we look back and everything, it all makes sense in hindsight. So President Trump 2028, Ivanka. So you've declared it because somehow you're connected in with it, as you obviously are, and you've put it out there.
Well, the Lord works in mysterious ways, Tom.
He does, and she was the one that activated me. I met her in 2015. Got my picture with her, and she was dove-like,
She is dove-like. She
is dove-like. She's amazing, and she just kind of floated past me like the Maid of Manhattan. And Maid of Manhattan, if I get it right, either comes to 141 Tom Bushnell or 146 Trump. Ma ID is
Maid of Manhattan.
Yeah.
This episode is nuts.
It is. It's amazing. I think nuts comes to 74 Gematria or 77 Crisis, one of them, because nuts is mentioned in the Tenet film. Just before they get the plane and all the gold comes out.
Hang on. Let's do the rods. Will Ivanka Trump be president of the US?
Yeah.
President of the US in 2028. That's a yes.
There you go. There you go.
Do the rods lie? I don't think so. Wow.
You've been rodded. So, and then the thing is, what is the best yet to come? I think it's a number of things. I think it says she'll be president, and it's so president is the Christ. It's 130. It's 110. It's magic power. It's 110. It's all president 110. Kingdom. So this is another one as well. So what was it? So they call it the kingdom of heaven as well. So New Jerusalem's 146, Ivanka Trump. It's also known as the kingdom of heaven or kingdom of heaven, and it's known as the dove. So the dove, so think of it. So Wonder Woman, Wonder is 79, which is the dove. The Dove Woman is Wonder Woman. Superman is the Dove Man, which is Quantum, which is 107, which is Trump's. So all these things have been put there for forever, and it's now we're just getting to unpack it. You know, the matrix of the numbers. It's like, you know, 50 bucks.
Even driving here earlier, I was behind a car, and the registration started with 17, then was blocked out by like a towing bar, and then it was 144. So all I could see was 17 and 144 on the number plate, and I'm just like, it's everywhere.
Yeah, exactly 144, and you know the frequency, the 144,000. 144 was Digital Soldier, 17's Q, obviously. You know, so yeah, it's okay. Get this one. So what's that?
We're in 5D. We're there.
We are. So if you did, going back to when I met Ivanka, so you've just said, so you said 144 and 17. So 144 plus 17 comes to 161. Yeah, that's what it comes to. You got your calculator there?
No.
Actually, get your calculator out, because I'm going to show you something about the sofa and dream in a second. But if you do, so do 144 plus 17, that's 161, yeah?
Yeah.
So when I got my photograph with Ivanka, you can't see all of it on my, but I've shown the full, I have to retweet the full one. So the full photo is a picture of me, then Ivanka, and then there's a 55, a golden 55. So if you do, Tom is 48, Ivanka 58, add them together as 106, which comes to red pilling. And then 55, which is JFK JR, which is heaven. So you're talking about the kingdom of heaven, Ivanka being president, etc. But if you add them together, if you do 48 plus 58, so Tom plus Ivanka plus 55,
161.
That's 161. Yeah. And you just told me about it while we're talking, and I'm, it's like it all correlates. Going back to your sofa, so get the calculator out. We'll do a little bit of numbers. So, so you were talking about dream. Okay, so D is the fourth letter. So punch in 4.
Yeah.
Plus R, which is 18.
Yeah.
Plus E, which is 5.
Mm-hmm.
Plus A, which is 1.
Mm-hmm.
Plus M, which is 13. What's that come to?
41.
41. Okay. Mark Atwood is 141. Tom Bushnell is 141. So that's a nice mirror palindrome number. But anyway, we'll continue. So you were talking about sofa.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do sofa. So S is 19.
Yep.
O is 15.
Yep.
F is 6.
Yep.
And A is 1.
41.
41. So you were talking about dreams and how to control your dream, and you're like, I've got to tell you about the sofa. So I was going to tell you just before that that dream is 41, because 41 is TSB, my initials. 41 is king. We've talked about being kings in Ireland and all the rest of it. But then alien is 41, USA is 41, good is 41, king is coin is 41, but a sofa is 41 and dream is 41.
That is nuts.
That is nuts. And when you started telling the story of that, I looked at my other phone here, and it was 1802. So 182, which is the flux capacitor. Me and Matt had a correlation on that a couple of weeks ago. But anyway, 182, if you do 1 times 82, that's 82, but that's dream plus sofa. And that's what the core thing of those few minutes were that you were talking about.
What are the numbers on Mace Windu?
Let's have a look.
Because that's a weird synchronicity today.
That is. Yeah. So Mace, M-A-C-E. Mace is MAGA. Yeah, MAGA. Let me just double check. Yeah, it is. Mace is MAGA. And then Windu. So win is 46. President Trump says you've got to be able to win. Yeah, it's all about winning. Win, win, win. He says win, win, win. He's saying dub, dub, dub. Best, best, best. 46, 46, 46. He always says it. So win is does he spell it that way? Is it W-I-N-D-U? Do you want to look at your figurines?
Pretty sure it is, yeah. Nobody's actually asked why I've got this. Yeah, W-I-N-D-U.
Okay, well, thank you for this one, Mark, because there is a correlation.
Of course there is.
There is a correlation. So Windu, win is 46, and then D takes it to 50, add the 21. That comes to 71. 71 comes to Psych, which is my channel, Psych.Club. 71 is Lady Diana, 71. Anyway, MAGA plus 71 or Mace plus Windu comes to 93. 93 is Bushnell. 93 is Kingship. And you and me were just talking off air beforehand when I said I was, a former Egyptian Celtic Viking.
Well, and that whole Egyptian Celtic thing didn't make sense to me 2 years ago. And then I came across the works of Michael Tazarian, which led me to a book called Island, Land of the Pharaohs, which led me to a book called Atlantis Island, which links the indigenous people of this place with Atlantis, a master civilization, and all the stones and pyramids around the world. What was that? Fire alarm.
Fire alarm.
Sure, it's a test.
Should be. I've done this before. Shush. There you go. Go on. Yeah, it's gone. See, there you go. Oh, yeah, it's gone. Someone's just messing around. Mark, you're going to enjoy this one. So, lightsaber, saber, S-A-B-R-E comes to 45. We got 45th president.
Oh, even if it's spelled ER, it's the same, because the Americans spell it with an ER, I think.
Yeah, it's the same one as an ER or RA. Yeah. So saber comes to 45. But if you say a saber, that's 46, which is again is dove, which is best. But let's do lightsaber. So lightsaber comes to 101, and it comes to immortal. Immortal.
You cannot die. You cannot die, MacLeod. You're immortal.
You're immortal. So if we do this, if we do Mace Windu lightsaber, it comes to 194. 194 takes us back to the beginning of the show, which comes to September 11th.
Well, what a perfect way to end. We've come full circle.
Full circle. There we go. That's it.
Basically, every thought and action and emotion that we're all having is leading us to the realization that there is just one field of consciousness, and we're all like drops of water in the ocean.
Yes.
That's what we are. And we are realizing it in what seems to be a very slow manner, but that's because of the adjustment that it's taking. And that's why we should learn to enjoy the journey, even though there was all these big scary things going on everywhere. I mean,
it's the transition to greatness. It's 88 miles per hour, 282. It's instant, but it's also a transition.
Yeah, I'm just, something else just came into my head, because what I'm trying to explain is when I try to have fun through this whole process and try to make comedy or try to have a laugh and try to keep things lighthearted, I'm not being glib. I'm not saying this isn't real. And these things aren't terrible, and there's been massive depression, people dying suddenly. This is not, it's not a game, but it kind of is. And it's if we all understand that it's about frequency, and that death isn't the end, and death isn't real, although it's very hard for people, leaving people behind. That's why this is so fascinating. And that's why a conversation like this with you, and I love these conversations with you, because we never know where they're going to go. We don't do presentations. We don't really even stick to a subject. It's just the freewheeling, freewheeling, and the numbers, and the fact, what we just said about that poem of mine just blew my mind.
Yeah, exactly. The best is yet to come. President Trump, Ivanka.
What's even weirder, Tom, is that about half an hour before we got to that subject, accidentally, I had a thought in my head, I should ask Tom to do the numbers on my poems. And then we ended up talking about it anyway. Yeah,
we should, There'll be topics for future ones. Just prior to that, I just looked at it. So Mace Windu lightsaber is 194, September 11th. Star Wars is 119, which is Nikola Tesla. There's also redemption. So if you do 194, September 11th, redemption, or Mace Windu lightsaber, Star Wars, that comes to 313. 313 comes to lift the veil from your eyes. And 313 comes from President Trump's portrait that you and I physically was there, did the video, but you gave me the stuff about the TARDIS, and he looked like Peter Davison, you know, being the Doctor with his either yachting or cricket jumper. But the title of that painting, the cricket, the painting of Mar-a-Lago is, it's called The Visionary. The Visionary comes from 165, which is resurrection, and Christ's bloodline. Other physics that one talks about. I think that's how you're going to do it, probably, or maybe at least one of the contributing factors. The other physics will assist with the resurrection. And Juan said it in the show last week. He said, and I was telling you about this, and you believe in this about the resurrection. And Juan is saying you're going to have to, you will be commanded to resurrect people. That's going to happen. And so, but resurrection is 165, the visionary. Visionary is 132, which is Princess Diana. JFK Jr. is alive, but the visionary is 165, which is Christ's bloodline, which is resurrection, which is other physics. But then below it, the title, well, the name of the painting, the person in it is Donald J. Trump, which is 148, which is simple gematria, which is Emmett Brown, which is simple gematria. Yeah. And so you add them together, the visionary, 165, plus Donald J. Trump, 148, comes to 313, which comes to lift the veil from your eyes. And now I've just figured out as we're talking that also comes to September 11th redemption, which comes to Mace Windu lightsaber Star Wars 313. And it's another perfect reflection number.
And how do you become a visionary? What does a visionary mean? It means somebody who can see into the future, which implies time travel, which implies other physics.
Yes, exactly. And the word vision is 88, which is Trump, which is download. And visions is 107, 107, which is quantum, which is Aquarius, which is eternal life, which is atonement.
Whew.
Which is military, which is all of them, you see, currency. It all continues. Talking of so 2020, so when we saw, 2020 was the big one. We were awake before, but then 2020 was an upgrade. Like, wow, what's this? So I thought I could see everything. I was like, it's all going to happen. It's all going to be done in a matter of months, and we'll be into the glory. We've been to the promised land. But obviously, we're here now in 2023. But 2020 comes to 214, which comes to Trump's quantum. It comes to Trump's military. It comes to quantum Aquarius. It comes to atonement, eternal life, whichever. There's so many you can put together. It comes to Trump's Superman, 214. But let's do 2020. Then if we fast forward to your poem, The Best Is Yet to Come, 228. Ivanka, President Trump, 228, The Best Is Yet to Come, The Dove Is Yet to Come, The New Jerusalem, The Starship, all of it. If you do 228, because that's one way to say it, you can say 2028, but you can quite often say 228. 228 also comes to 214, which comes to 2020. So if you spell out 2020, and if you spell out 228, they both come to 214. So maybe we've got the first one of the 2020 vision. We've got the first lens, the first one in 2020. And we get the pair of spectacles like the Mark Atwood is always telling us, showing us. We get the perfect vision at 2028 because they're the same value. So 228 is 214. 2020 is 214, and 2020 is 2020 vision. Trump's visions, the same value.
Well,
Trump's downloads, it's the same value.
I read somewhere the other day that 2020 never ended. We're still in 2020, which is an interesting concept, because as time looks to be marching on, there are a lot of people that have said that I look younger, you look younger, everybody's looking younger. Something's going on.
Something is going on. In case you haven't noticed, something's going on.
I think something's going on. What do you think?
Something's going on. Tell us about. Go on, Mark.
No, I was just thinking I might do a show doing the rods. Ask me any question with the rods, because I really enjoy these, because every single decision I'm like, I'm just getting the rods out.
What do you call them? So they're called what they call. So such and such rods. What are they called?
Divining rods.
Divining rods. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is interesting because I,
DIVING. Is that right?
DIVING. Divining. Divining.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, the rods have popped up in my life through water initially, and then I did a course on how to find water with an amazing guy called Gordon. Gordon.
Oh, goodness me.
And then these ones were given to me by Ian Welch. They keep popping up.
Oh.
Well, one who found...
let's get this correct. So just double check. So divining is Divining. Is that correct? It's not DE, it's DI, yeah?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Let's just double check, Mark, because this is off the charts.
Yeah, it is. DiviningRod.
All right, let's do it. You're my student for the numbers. Get the calculator out. Let's do divining. Look at this. This is off the charts.
Go on, give it to me.
Okay, so D is 4.
Yeah.
I is 9.
Yeah.
V is 22, MAGA.
Yeah.
I is 9.
Yeah.
N is 14.
Yeah.
I is 9.
Yeah.
N is 14.
Yeah.
And G is 7. And in the beginning of 10,
88.
88.
88.
So divining is Trump. And then
oh my God.
And then let's do rods. So R is 18.
Yeah.
O is 15.
Yeah.
D is 4.
Yeah.
And S is 19.
56.
So 56 is light. 56 is healing. 56 is 3. We're in 2023. So if you do Trump healing or Trump rods, it comes to 144. Digital soldier, the 144,000 divining rods.
Wow. See, you think you're just having an ordinary conversation.
And you've got 2 of them. There's 2 of them. So if you just add 2 to divining rods 2, that's 146. Ivanka Trump, New Jerusalem, 146. Truth Social, 140. That's why President Trump's brought out Truth Social, because Truth Social is 146. New Jerusalem, 146. Ivanka Trump, 146.
Yeah.
Dove reversal. So if the dove, the New Jerusalem, descends and plugs into the universe, into the earth, and everything changes, dove reversal is 146, New Jerusalem. Is that what it is? Dove time machine is 146, because time machine is 100 and reversal is 100. And that's why President Trump said, grab them by the pussy, because pussy is 100, because it's reversal, because it's time machine. So it was all to, check out Mike, Magic Mike and all the rest of it, and check who's what they are. But also there was other stuff. A reversal, he's saying, I'm going to grab you by the reversal when you watch.
On that bombshell,
we'll finish up. Tell us about the, so what can people expect for the show or shows in April?
Right, so April the 15th, we're doing Adventures of the Cosmic Suit live. So it's going to be like my show, but with guests on. And it's going to be...
really like your intro for your sit down you did with that woman. I really like the intro. I was like, that's a proper show.
Well, I've had that intro for a while, and I tend to only use it when I'm making a film with a camera crew. So that was not just sat on a Zoom thing. And, I'd like to get these kind of shows, just get them out, And...
Was that in your studio or was that somewhere else?
No, that was at her house.
Ah, because guess what studio is, Mark?
I don't know.
Do you want to do it do you want me to tell you, or do you want to do it?
Go on then, let's do it.
We're going to start calling you Mark Numbers. Which is 135, which is John Trump, which is Ivanka Trump. Anyway, so studio S19, T20, U21, D4, I is 9, O is 15. So when you're saying I'm going to get a studio, I want to get my studio,
This is ridiculous. I feel a bit like Carol Vorderman on Countdown.
I know. I've thought that. One like when I'm doing the bit of Rachel or Carol. I've met Carol. Yeah.
Of course you have.
Yeah.
Actually, I was thinking earlier, I forgot to tell you that out of, you've met every celebrity on the planet. When you were talking about Mace Windu, I shared a first-class Virgin Atlantic flight with Samuel L. Jackson.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did he? I was going to say, he didn't show you the purple shaft, did he? Because he was in the film Shaft, wasn't he?
He was, yeah.
Sorry, that was a bit lower humour there.
But anyway, as Paul McCartney told me, I should never drop names.
Okay, so I remember I met Bono years ago in Covent Garden, and one thing I remember is when their hit single came out. It's a Beautiful Day. Is it a Beautiful Day? Yeah, it was used on the football on ITV with Des Lynott. Anyway, and he was in like this kind of long Mac coat, and my friend said, "That's Bono." I was like, "Is it?" I couldn't really tell because it was dark, Anyway, I went up to him and said hello, shook his hand. He's with his girlfriend or partner. But I remember distinctly at the time, and this is good plus 20 years ago, his face was really kind of old and weathered, a lot older than I thought. Anyway, make of that what you will. But I remember telling my friends not long after that, I said, I met Paul, I met Bono. And then this girl that was there in the conversation said, I met Paul McCartney. And my mate went, I think Paul McCartney trumps Bono. I was like, okay, yeah. Anyway, so that's the Bono story, yeah.
But there'll be people in the comments going, Bono's a Satanist and Paul McCartney died in 1966. We know, we're just telling stories.
I know. We're just conversing in. These are just trinkets in the matrix, so we're just having fun with, So
we're just riffing. But anyway,
just riffing.
April the 15th, Manchester. We've sold about 300 tickets. There's 444 tickets available, and the sales will stop soon. We're getting Janine's coming over. You're coming in. I think Carol Maureen Frieson's coming in. Anya Lily's coming in. There's a couple of
192 is Ivanka Trump.
Yeah.
Ivanka Marie Trump, Governor's Island. Yeah. Oh.
There's a couple of other guests going. That's going to be like a show, a 4 or 5 hour show in the afternoon. I'm launching my poetry book there. We're going to launch Janine's Art by Janine book there, and we're going to have a really good time. But then we're going to be doing a gala dinner 4 days later in Ireland. It was going to be at a hotel in Doonbeg, but that got double booked. So I have another hotel, which I'm keeping secret for the time being, and confirming that booking on Tuesday. If it doesn't go ahead for any reason, you just get your money back. But we are doing everything we can to make that go ahead. And Ireland's not that big, so it doesn't make any difference if it's in Doonbeg or the other side of the country. And we're just going to make it. It will be in a gorgeous, gorgeous country hotel, and that will be a time for celebration, and it's time to get together, have dinner, do some dancing, drink some beers, have fun in a really beautiful setting. That's really what it's about, and sign books and just get to mingle with everybody. That's what it's about, and I think that's very.
On a Wednesday.
It is on a Wednesday, yeah. And the reason of those dates are chosen like that is just because Janine's going to fly over from Canada, and she's got limited time that she can do this because she's got to get back to the Hideaway, and I just thought it'd be cool to get us all together and just have fun.
Well, you're on point with it, Mark, because April 15th. 15th is 93 Mace Windu, Bushnell. April's 56, which is Rods, which is healing. And you add them together, April 15th comes to 149, which comes to Kingdom of Heaven. And if you add the Wednesday, if you do Wednesday, April 15th, that comes to 249. 249 comes to Tom Numbers Psych Club.
Well, the Wednesday is the April the 19th.
Is it Wednesday the 19th?
Yeah, Saturday the 15th and Wednesday the 19th.
Oh, correction then. So let's have a look what that would be then. So April 19th. So Sunday's 84.
My great granddad's birthday as well.
What, the 19th?
Yeah, he was my favorite. He was amazing. He was amazing.
It's great to have wonderful grandparents. I definitely have wonderful grandparents. Eileen and Sydney, and Thomas and Emily, but definitely Eileen and Sydney. They're a big part of the numbers for me. Still are.
Remember when we did I think was on our first show? I think I told you granddad, one of my granddads was called Sidney Thomas.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're Thomas.
When did he die? What age did he die?
He was only about 62.
Do you know? Were you a young kid when he passed?
Yeah, I was about 8 or 9.
It wasn't me, was it?
How old are you?
So I was born in 1975.
No, he died
47.
about 78, 79 he died.
Okay. We might be sharing it, maybe.
Well,
Don't
you
know.
know, your soul is fragmented into millions of pieces. So it could have been.
Could have been.
I'm going to have to go. Got to make dinner for me and my boy.
Cheerio, buddy.
Lovely to see you.
Great to see you through a glass darkly. There you go.
Thanks, Tom. Take care, mate.
Thanks, buddy. Click the links below. Sign up. How many places left for April 15th? Kingdom of Heaven 149. So you've got to come.
There's about 150, I think, left.
Trump train 150. Pull the plug. Good.
I don't know the exact number because I haven't checked it, but it's about that.
Maybe it's 149 left, which would be April 15th, which would be Kingdom of Heaven, which would be
great. They're going to be 2 great days. So come along. It's so important people get together after the period that we've had, and
yes,
every event we've done has just been magical. So let's do it. Let's do some more.
Thank you, Mace Windu. I'll see you soon.
Cheers. Thank you. Take care.
See you, buddy. Cheers.
Bye-bye.